Welcome to the Metal Voice. Today on the show, a huge release, Opeth's new album, Sorceress. With me to review the album, the one, the only, Mr. Head Honcho at Metal Wani, Vitek. What's going on, brother?
I'm good, Jimmy. How about you?
Good, good. So let's really take this album apart. All right. I know you're a big Opeth fan, so am I. So right off the bat, I'll give the mic to you. Tell me what you thought about the new album by Opeth.
New album. Actually, to keep it short, I think it's probably their most heaviest. And when I say heavy, I mean in an Opeth sense, since Watershed. So it probably took them a decade to write an album which can kind of satisfy the death metal fans of Opeth and as well as the progressive rock side of Opeth. This is right there. And I'm sure a few fans are going to complain that we want growls, but that's not going to happen. This album doesn't have that. But what it has is the heaviest stuff they have written since 2008.
Well, okay. Well, let's tell everybody right away. There are no death metal growls here. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! No death growls.
Absolutely.
And
if you are
they are
looking for
not
death
going to
growls,
go
you'd
back
rather
to that.
stop here. You'd rather stop here and quit the video because this is not meant for you.
Yeah, that's right. Click, pause, come back in a few weeks, and then we'll talk again, right? So,
All right.
Here we go. So, my point of view on this is, I don't know if it's heavy. I guess heavy you mean in the sense of deep. This is not even a heavy metal album. So this is like a completely prog rock album. It's a throwback to the 70s, maybe even the late 60s. I'm hearing Jimi Hendrix singing. I'm hearing, yes, sort of Bill Bruford drumming. I'm hearing a little bit of maybe Genesis. I mean, Peter Gabriel. I'm just hearing all kinds of prog rock and ELP as well. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I mean, a lot of that. The keyboards are very prominent on this album. What are a few highlights, some tracks that you really enjoyed?
Okay, from the track's perspective, I think the moment Sorceress, the title track, came out, fans kind of got an idea of the album will sound. But in fact, this is the only track on the album which sounds like their last album, Pale Communion. So rest of the tracks are really good. To give you an example, something like The Wildflower. Now, this song in general has the perfect 70s prog vibe, and in fact, I got to tell you this: the presence of Joachim, the new keyboard player, the amount of work he has put on this album, probably for me, it'll go down in the Opeth's history as one of the most vital addition to the sound. Yeah. I would say even since Steven Wilson took the producer's chair. It's because this guy completely outstrips Burr. He completely outstrips their previous keyboard player on every level. The kind of sounds he's brought onto the album has broadened the vision of Michael Lagerfeld, and that is clearly evident on a track like Wildflower. But other than that, a track like Chrysalis is probably one of the most heaviest riffs I've heard since Watershed.
I agree.
So, for me, it felt like a throwback period to what Opeth were, originally known for. But there is a song which literally gave me goosebumps, and I still listen to it, and it blows my mind every time, and that is Strange Bro. The middle section till the end with Michael's vocals, goosebumps. That's all I can say.
Well,
every song on this album, I got to tell you, Jimmy, that it's not. None of these songs are on the same page. Assuming that one song, maybe the second sound has a similar vibe as the first one. No, each one of them have their own parts that shine out. Some are heavy in terms of the riffs. It's twisting, it's complex, and some of even headbang-worthy metal songs. So I could safely say this album is probably the first full-fledged progressive metal album from Opeth since the first album, Heritage, which came out in 2009.
I'd have to agree with you. Chrysalis, probably one of the influence sort of songs. Will o' the Wisp, of course. The Wildflower is incredible, and I agree with you. All the tracks you mentioned, all the points you made, bang on. You nailed it. I would say, like, I've always criticized Opeth in the past for lack of focus. So the last two albums, I find sometimes they go off on these prog tangents and they lose focus of where the song is, and you kind of, you get, as a listener, you get confused, and sometimes you just don't play that song again because it's just too confusing. But this album seems to be more cohesive, seems to be more on track, more on target. Yes, there are moments when they kind of lose focus, but they always come back, and I agree with you. Strange Brew, you know, man, the midsection's incredible. It takes a lot of listens to really enjoy something like this, and you got to be a prog rock fan to really want to listen to this.
Indeed, definitely. Because even, let's take an example of this, the instrumental, like the Seven Sorn. Now that one is mainly instrument, obviously, and it has these Egyptian, Middle Eastern themed vibe in it, which was really something Opeth have not done in the past. So this song in general, again, takes back us to the world of Michael Lagerfeld, what he visualizes in his mind. Opeth never did a song like this before. They have so many wonderful instrumentals in the past, but this one, may not be, not everyone wants a heavy distorted sound, but this one, as an instrumental, clearly reflects their 70s vibe. And also, kudos to Axelrod or even Frederick for such amazing, impressive guitar and the drum work they have done. Clearly, Michael doesn't lose his focus on this album in general. If you look at it from a perspective of an Opeth fan who loves the death metal side of Opeth as well as the prog rock side.
All right, so what would you rate this album out of 10?
Personally, if I have to rate it, I would say it lies from 9 to 9.5 to me in terms of the overall essence.
Sure.
I'm sure fans are going to be like, no, this is an average album, this, that, but if you have lived this album for 3 months, or let me say 2 months like me, this is what happens. This is what happens. I listen to this album almost every day. So I've spent literally 60 days.
Wow.
I've probably heard it like 50, 60 times so far.
Right off the bat, I've heard it maybe like 3 times already, and I would say 8.8 out of 10 for myself. But it's a grower, you're saying. So, I mean, time will tell. Maybe my rating will shoot up like yours did, right? Because all prog rock albums take time to really, know if you're going to love it or not.
It does, especially in an album like this, which is not, like it doesn't feel like, album is full of songs, like one song. All of them feel connected at the end of the day. When you listen to them, you kind of feel like you've had some sort of a meditative session with Michael and the gang. And at the end of this album, when the album ends, it makes you want to go back and revisit it. And as you keep listening to it, that's where the value increases. And you more try to evolve or try to go through the lyrics and etc. That's the beauty of this album. It's not going to click immediately. Even, in fact, the other day, my friends were listening to it and they were bored. I told them, give it a couple more shots. And right now, just like half an hour before we spoke, they're loving it. So that's the beauty of this album. Give it some time. Don't come to conclusion by just one round.
Well, there you have it. Opeth's new album, Sorceress. Pick it up. My guest today, well, my reoccurring guest, Vitek from Metal Wani. That's metalwani.com. Make sure to check out the website, check out their videos. They're incredible. All the way in India. Thanks for watching another edition of the Metal Voice.